2 Kings chapter 25. In the 9th year of his reign, on the 10th day of the 10th month, Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, led his forces against Jerusalem. They encircled the city, constructing fortifications around it. The siege endured until the 11th year of King Zedekiah's rule. By the 9th day of the 4th month, famine struck the city, and the people had no bread to sustain them. The city's defenses crumbled, and under the cover of night, the men of war fled through the gate between the two walls, adjacent to the king's garden. The Chaldean forces surrounded the city. Meanwhile, King Zedekiah escaped, heading towards the plains. The Chaldean army pursued Zedekiah and caught up with him in the plains of Jericho. His entire army dispersed in the process. Zedekiah was captured and brought before Nebuchadnezzar at Riblah. There, he received judgment. Witnessing the horrifying execution of his sons, Zedekiah had his own eyes put out and was bound with brass fetters before being transported to Babylon. In the 19th year of King Nebuchadnezzar's reign, on the 7th day of the 5th month, Nebuzaradan, captain of the guard and servant of the Babylonian king, arrived in Jerusalem. He set fire to the house of the Lord, the king's palace, and all the significant houses in the city. The Chaldean army, led by the captain of the guard, demolished the walls surrounding Jerusalem. The remaining inhabitants of the city, along with the fugitives who had sought refuge with the king of Babylon, were deported by Nebuzaradan, captain of the guard. Only the poorest of the land were left behind to tend to the vineyards and fields. The Chaldeans dismantled the brass pillars, bases, and the bronze sieve from the house of the Lord, carrying them to Babylon. They also confiscated various brass utensils used for the temple service. Gold and silver items, including firepans, bowls, and vessels, were seized by the captain of the guard. The two pillars, the large bronze sieve, and the bases made by Solomon for the house of the Lord were so abundant in brass that their weight could not be determined. The first pillar was 18 cubits tall, with a brass capital that extended 3 cubits, adorned with brass latticework and pomegranate decorations. The second pillar was similarly designed. Sariah, the chief priest, Zephaniah, the second priest, and 3 doorkeepers were taken by the captain of the guard. Additionally, an officer responsible for the men of war, 5 individuals from the king's presence, the principal scribe of the host, and 60 men from the city were seized by Nebuzaradan and presented to the king of Babylon at Riblah. At Riblah, the king of Babylon executed them, putting an end to their lives. This marked the exile of Judah from their land. The people who remained in Judah, under Nebuchadnezzar's rule, were overseen by Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam and grandson of Shaphan. News of Gedaliah's appointment as governor reached the captains of the armies and their followers. Individuals like Ishmael, Johanan, Sariah, and Jazaniah came to Mizpah. Gedaliah assured them of safety under Chaldean rule, encouraging them to remain in the land and serve the king of Babylon. Unfortunately, in the 7th month, Ishmael, a descendant of the royal lineage, murdered Gedaliah. The Jews and Chaldeans at Mizpah were also killed. Fearful of the Chaldeans, the people, both small and great, along with the captains of the armies, fled to Egypt. In the 37th year of Jehoiakim's captivity, on the 27th day of the 12th month, Evil-Merodach, the king of Babylon, released Jehoiakim from prison. He was shown kindness and given a higher position among the captive kings in Babylon. Evil-Merodach replaced Jehoiakim's prison attire and provided him with a consistent allowance, ensuring he was cared for throughout his life. This daily stipend continued indefinitely.